everybody, and welcome to my plus size grandma with Miss Coco Bowden. Y'all, let me tell you, these flashbacks are horrible. I'm going through PTSD, and I've never been through it to this magnitude that I'm in right now. I've suffered with PTSD before, and I got over it, and to where I could live and rest and stuff. But this time is different. This time they're hitting me worse than ever. It's about plus size grandma family. Just pray for me because I'm going to see if I can get into a trauma professional that can help me with this, because this I've never experienced this to this magnitude. It's like all these bad things that happened to me that I forgot all about this stuff. I mean, literally, I forgot all about this stuff that had happened to me. From, I say, what I'm remembering now goes all the way back to what I'm seeing basically now goes all the way back to 1990. 94. I'm very tired and exhausted, but I can't sleep because of the flashbacks. 1994, between 94 and 95. That's what I'm seeing now. It's like these images keep coming to my eyes, and I'm seeing, like, with my ex, I was going with a guy from El Salvador, and I'm talking about it, y'all, because talking about it helps a lot. And so that's why I don't mind talking about it. Well, I gotta start yawning now. And maybe this will help the next person, but I just bursted out crying because I do remember when I was very scared. I was very scared for my daughter. She was just a little baby of around 2 years old. And I went fishing. And the guy I was going with was from El Salvador. And she probably doesn't remember this. But she was around 2 years old. And I had her beside me, and at the pond we was at, you could swim. And I remember he was drinking and he was really drunk. And before I know it, he had then grabbed the baby and took her halfway in the middle of the pond. And it just terrified me so bad. It scared me so bad, him taking my baby out there drunk. And I remember I had to be really nice to him to get my baby back. And when I got her back, I packed up my stuff and left. And this was an abusive relationship, y'all. This was a really bad relationship that I was in. So I'm having a flashback of him being in the water with my daughter. And this is something I had not remembered for years. Over 15, 16 years. Over 20 some years. She'll be 26 June the 5th. And I blocked it out somehow, and it's just not coming back, like in these flashes in my eyes. It's like, you're not crazy. The stuff, what I'm seeing really did happen. It scared me so bad. And I was around about 16 or 17 years old when this happened. It scared me so bad. I never told anybody to this day. I'm just remembering it. I mean, seeing it. It's like I'm at that pond sitting there, and like I can smell the pond. I can smell the alcohol that he was drinking. I never ride my babies drinking or anything. And I could smell the alcohol, and I could see the look on his face like he wanted to actually hurt my baby. I could see that look on his face. And, you know, I was so young. God Almighty. I remember just being in such a great fear that he was going to actually drown my baby out there, and I couldn't swim. At that time, I couldn't swim. I was so scared. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. And it just feels like that fear is on me right now. That's what it feels like. It feels like that fear is like it's happening right now. And so I'm having to remind myself that I'm safe and that my child is safe. She's a grown woman. She grew up and she's steady growing, and she's going to be celebrating her birthday. I'm just trying to remind myself a lot of positive things. Matter of fact, I'm sitting on my step. Let me go in the house and just let me cut this off. Yeah, my fan is loud. My fan is loud. But I'm remembering a lot of things that is just horrible. It's like all my fears are jumping to my face at one time. Things that I was once scared of. Oh, gosh. And I feel very bad about it. And I'm going to document this because I'm going to see if I can get in with the trauma counselor. And yes, I am casting down imaginations. That's why I'm talking about it. Because I ain't going to let it stop me. Or cause a great fear in me that I cannot live my life. Because it hurts. It's very emotional, damaging, wounded. Because it hurts to know that at that age, I was around 16. I'm going to say 17. Because I did have my son. My son was about 9 months old. So I had to be about 17, close to maybe 17, 18. But I was inboxing her the other night, and I said Friday night is when it all started really bad with the PTSD. And I told her, I said, I just had a flashback. It's not, a flashback is not like your imagination. A flashback is like, well, yeah, it is your imagination, I guess. But it's like you there in real time with it. And I think what triggered all of this, because I never was feeling like this before, but I went through the thing with my son having psychotic episodes, and I only felt safe in the car. And now it's like I really want to just sit in the car for long periods of time. It's really horrible, y'all. It's horrible. I'm not worried about the devil trying to use it against me, because one thing about the gospel that it teaches me is that the truth will set you free. And so that's what I'm relying on to help me through this. I'm having to take deep breaths. It's the truth that's in this. And the truth was, yeah, a lot of stuff happened in my lifetime that scared me very bad. Especially when I was in that relationship with that guy from El Salvador, because I didn't know his affiliations. First of all, seemed like people was always dying, getting killed around us, and it was just a whole lot of stuff. I always had like guns pulled on me, guns put to my head. Um, he had a machete. I still have that machete here. A machete that he said he was gonna cut my neck off with. I'm looking at that machete right now. I always keep it beside my stove. And a sword, he said he was gonna cut my neck off with it. And when he couldn't get to me, he got to a cat. And I was inside my car. I'm seeing that too. I'm inside my car with my sister, my baby sister, Kayola, and we're trying to get away. And he holds the cat up and says, "This is gonna be your head." And he takes the machete and cuts the cat's tail off right in front of me. And so I'm going through reliving all of that horrible, painful stuff. That's why I try to tell women, don't force yourself in a man's life. If you know things ain't going right, if you know they don't really love your kids, leave. God does have somebody out there for you. Just leave. I mean, it's not worth going through what I'm going through now. I didn't have nobody that I could lean on. I didn't have nobody that I could call on. My mom and them thought I was doing good. And because of my pride, I didn't know how to ask for help. I didn't know how to say, hey, this man is always threatening my life. This man is doing things that I don't like. And then again, I didn't know what emotional abuse was either, though, because how he got me was like, he would be so mean to me at times. Oh my God, I could still like feel that pain. He would be so mean to me at times, and then he follow up with being so loving, so nice, so kind, like he really cared, like he really wanted to help me and my kids out. Mind you, he's not my children's father. I got my son while I was with him. I cheated on him and got my son because I really was trying to leave that relationship, and I didn't know no other way to leave it. And so um, my son's father was helping me with that. He was trying to help me leave, but me and my son's father ended up, going our separate ways. So I ended up having to stay in the relationship. But it was horrible. It was horrible. All I keep seeing is the pond and the water. He was a short man, so the water was all the way up to his neck. And not to mention my baby's head was going in and out of that water. And he's way over there. I can't swim. At that time, we didn't have cell phones. I couldn't call 911. I couldn't scream at him or yell at him, bring my baby back, because I didn't want to startle him. He was drunk. He was drunk. I didn't want to upset him because if he was capable of cutting my neck off and putting a gun to my head at many nights, then I didn't want to piss him off where he would drop my baby in that water because she was slipping a lot out of his arms. And when I got her, I was like, my kids are never traveling with me when I have a man in the car with me unless it's my daddy. And that's how close I was with my daddy or my brothers. Other than that, I was like, my kids are not going anywhere. When I go out, I don't care if it's to a family function of some, like my boyfriend. If he got a family function, my kids are not going. My kids will not be around that. And I know last night I was flashbacking and I was trying to remember, why am I like that about my children? Why didn't I ever take my children places? And then it hit me, them flashbacks started hitting me like that. But mind you now, none of this stuff started happening to me till, what is it being now? 3 weeks after the fire? No, the fire been about a month. The fire will be a month on tomorrow. So they started coming a little bit at a time. And then now they're starting to come really bad. It's been a month now. As a matter of fact, today, June the 3rd, makes it a month since that fire. But when that fire happened, I saw something that I can't explain. And I know that struck me. I haven't really slept like that in a month. I sleep, but it takes me a long time to fall asleep. It takes a lot of prayer. I have to tell God to wrap me in his arms. Lord, let me feel your presence so I can rest. And that's the only way that I get